Good evening. No, well, let's open up our finance and operations policy workshop this evening. And we are going to start it off with any questions on invoices and POs.
I
Jack?
have none.
None?
I went through that whole thing and,
The good thing about a spending freeze is not many things to go through.
Perfect.
well, if it says blanket, I didn't go right past all that.
Slim pickings, no.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
yeah, no, it was good.
Okay. So that's that. Brings us to policy review and revision. We have policy 1330, use of school facilities and facilitation use back on, because RJ, I know you weren't here last week, you weren't feeling well, so tonight, just give us do you have any more background info?
So I think in the packet, you're seeing all of the comparables that we sent over.
Yep.
Those towns that we were able to do some brief research on the websites. We did adjust the pricing based on what we found from those comparables. Spent some time with Steve Wolf, who's our site supervisor, and kind of managed the auditoriums for us, and felt that it was a while since we had an upgrade, and the schools we were kind of comparing to, our auditorium was not, size-wise, not really comparable. Some were, some weren't. Did kind of feel like the larger auditoriums, more like the Schubert size, was more comparable to what our auditorium held compared to a smaller gym. Smaller auditorium. So I think with that, we left the auditorium pricing the same for here, and then we kind of reduced the peripherals around it to kind of keep us competitive, but still increase the prices. More specifically, JMMS, we did have an overhaul of $250,000 over the last couple of years, redoing the stage, the lighting, and sound, so that's a viable source for rentals now where it was not in the past. So charging the same price for an upgrade auditorium seemed a little odd, but still wanting to leave it at a level that's very competitive, not saying we can't come back and adjust again in the near future.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to price out.
Correct. And again, we can always adjust, like we gauge, I mean, I have I gathered some information for tonight's meeting.
No, I think that's fair. It's not a huge increase, but it's,
Something.
you're right.
So from, starting from last September when the season really starts, we've had from September 1/24 to the end of the year past, we had 43 events. And from January on to the summer, we have 38 events scheduled, which is almost every weekend. And again, the profit is primarily off the rental fee. When it comes to staffing, security, maintenance, and custodial, either here or JMMS, we use the contracted rate and round it up to the nearest dollar, so we're not really making money off of the staff. So the profit really comes from the revenue that we're charging for the rental of the fee.
So if this is approved tonight, then these prices will start, anything will,
Anything
going
that's-
tomorrow
books
forward,
tomorrow.
anything,
So if anyone-
anything new booked.
Anything new, like we do have some events like the larger events that come from New Jersey, they do book out a couple of years
Yeah.
in advance. We will notify them that a fee is going to increase, so when they book the following year after this year, it'll be the new price. We did some math on what those fees would be, and they're not astronomical jumps. Like our largest fee is around $60,000. If you add the 75 an hour, it ups their fee by like $4,500. So it's 4,500, but it's not really.
Probably nothing that's
You're
going to
paying
be going around.
60,000 for a
Right,
rental.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
They're
exactly.
probably not going to find anything better either, still within that range.
And like the smaller local recitals, we're here for 4 or 5 hours, it's a $400 change, $400 or $500 change. Again, nothing that I think would deter them. from
Especially
going
when
farther away.
especially the ones that have already used the facility, so that they know and
Right.
they're accustomed to what can fit in. A lot of
Yeah.
I mean, we do provide staffing that are very well equipped to run the facility, like lighting and sound, our techs that are trained for the sound booth and the lighting that we have for both sites. We provide a site super that kind of oversees that and kind of plans for the weekend during the week. So they're getting a service yes, they pay for that, but it's still a service above and beyond that.
Right.
The comparables don't easily state that that's what's included in their pricing, so it's
Yeah.
always hard to deter like apples to apples. But comfortable, that's a good step to take now, and if we need to adjust,
Well, I think Branford listed separately how much an hour for techs and it was like a $40 a person, something
But
like that.
Branford, I noticed too, and I wondered if you took that, did you notice that Branford does a different pricing Monday to Friday versus Saturday, Sunday?
we
I
very
mean, I'm
rarely,
fine with what we have, but was that taken into
so
consideration?
we very rarely have Monday through Thursday events.
Okay.
Because the high school is open, the extended hours, we encourage all the after-school events from the elementary schools
Mhm.
to come here. Number one, it's a larger space, it provides a better experience, kind of gives the students a chance to get to the high school, but it also saves us on the overtime costs from keeping the elementary schools open, so we kind of far and few between that we have. So to add another layer, I think
Yeah.
it
Okay.
may just muddy the waters more than it does help. But we can get to that point if we see the changes causing an issue.
And again, most of the price differentials are based on the quality of the actual facility, and this is one of the highest quality facilities in this area.
Right.
So these, like the auditorium, it's an additional $75 an hour, right? If I
Yep.
do my math right,
Yep.
times 4 hours. Like,
Yep.
is that gonna be a big, like, I mean, per hour, it doesn't seem bad, but that it's 4 hours, is that gonna like price somebody out then that they're not gonna wanna come to us? I mean, I think our rates are reasonable. I
Well,
just,
mean,
I
so
don't
like
want to.
Like I just said, most of our smaller local are like 5-6 hour events, so you're talking maybe $400 or $500 in total. Like, I personally don't think it would deter them from going across the bridge to West Haven if they're from East Haven or North, but like, that would be, right, but there's only one way to find out,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Right, right. I don't know, I don't know what anyone else thinks about that.
I don't think anyone would be surprised because everything has gone up in price. I don't
Right.
think they would even think anything of it.
And cost of supplies, like, don't
Yep.
forget, like,
So like,
paper products.
I'll give an example of, like, we need to, like we did JMS, we need to start doing that here and start cycling out some of the equipment. One lighting, module, we got a price, like, it's not large, probably the size of our desk, was $17,000. So like, this is what we would use to replenish, like we did JMS, if given the opportunity. So I think it'll all come back to them over time. But it's just, I think that literally the only auditorium I think that is comparable in data may be West Haven because it's a new auditorium, but not sure on seating and not sure on the layout as it is here. So. But again, up for discussion, up to whatever you want. You have the final say, Bill.
I don't see why not put it out, and if there seems to be loss of interest, we could always bring it back. I mean,
Yeah,
Again, we turn people away. Like, you know, we have to turn people away for events, so they'll come and we'll get to see whether they
I will
book.
also note that a lot of the events that call and the price for a smaller event, a smaller group, if the high school is too much currently, having JMMS fully available with new light and sound is a great alternative. Like this weekend, we have an event starting on Friday at 3:30, going to 1 a.m. Saturday, coming back Saturday from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. Like they're there the full weekend for a full event because they were able to save some money for a smaller school. So granted, that's just the high school, but if they could go to the JMMS, they'll actually save a
yeah,
lot of
that's
money while still
true. I mean, we
making
have
some
that
cash.
option. if-
Yeah.
Which is new. I mean, we always had it, but it was never
Yeah,
in the
it's-
condition it is now where it's
Right.
more attractable.
I don't know, I guess if we get people saying, you know, you, like, come, I guess if we decide to approve it, you know, and then come back, we can always reevaluate, yeah.
And like RJ said, you want it to be profitable so you could put money back into it because the wear and tear is significant when you have, how many? 38 and 43 events scheduled.
Yeah, close to 80.
Close to 80. Think about the wear and tear of the system, of the space. You need revenue generated so that you can continually put it back in and keep the upgrades going, or else you're just deteriorating your space without any renew for, you know, the kids who are actually here.
No, I mean, I'm all for raising the prices, like, I just wanna make sure we're not, like, somebody who comes every year is all of a sudden, oh, you know what, now it's $350 more, we really can't, we were only gonna use it for 4 hours, we were counting on whatever in our budget, and this $350 is not gonna, whatever, and especially if it's a not-for-profit organization, that's more, you
So
know,
if they're not-for-profit,
I'm just trying to think of.
But not-for-profits are in here where if they feel it's a burden, they can ask for a reduction if they
Okay.
prove that they're a nonprofit.
Okay,
And I think because we're making the transition, if people are having that much of a hard time and if they're a long-time customer, we can potentially come to you and
okay,
Like-
yeah, I think, yeah,
And
I
I-
like that idea that if they're they regularly come to us and for some reason there's an issue.
And I still don't see us being higher than
No.
surrounding, so it's, I don't.
Right, right. No,
See, why
I'm just
not?
trying to, you know, look at both sides.
Okay. Good talk.
And then,
Yeah. If nothing else, well, we would have to have it on the workshop agenda. So other than that, we'll take a little break and, again, my watch, I just realized. Good evening. I'd like to call to order this evening's meeting, and let's begin with the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call attendance.
Mr. Palma? Ms. DeLongo?
Here.
Mr. Hennessy?
Here.
Ms. Johnson? Ms. Putney? Ms. Santiago?
Here.
Mr. Stacy?
Here.
Ms. Torello?
Here.
Dr. DeLucia?
Here. All right, so for my report this evening, I'd want to first thank all of you for attending the extra meetings that we've had this past month. Thank you for that. Also, I might be taken from Jack, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, that my niece Colby Nastry was just named as the first athlete in East Haven history to make her fourth year, right?
All
Yep.
state.
All state. Yep.
Congratulations.
Cheerleading. But this is the first time anyone has done it in any sport here, so that's pretty cool. We were very excited. Not surprised, but excited. Okay. That is, oh, and I also attended an FOI webinar today, very interesting. What did I say? Pretty much everything seems to be the same. There wasn't really many changes. A lot of questions about public comment and if you could excuse people if they don't follow the rules. And I guess FOI has nothing to say about that because they don't govern that or require it, so we don't even have to have public comment, so we could have any rules that we want, I guess, surrounding it. That's it. That is it. That's the one thing that I want to say was talked about the most in the side chat, which made them talk about it more. Well, if T is not here, Jack, do you have other sports news?
Yes, I do. So besides Colby Nastry, Gianna Percivali, Gianna Tulo, and Reagan Winfield also were named as All-State, so we had 4 All-State cheerleaders. And boys track, Tyler Viveris will be competing at the New Englands, so that's amazing. For the 300 and the 55 dash, Tyler won the Class M 55 dash, so he's a champion and he's moving on. Wrestling's moving on to the state opens this weekend with several wrestlers competing. Maddie Cooper won the Queen of the Mat tourney last weekend. Pretty neat. Hockey's qualified for the SEC and CIAC championships. Hockey season is done. A bunch of other teams still have a couple of games left, so they're just hanging around waiting. Our boys lost in the SEC tournament, but they're now ready to compete in the CIAC tournament. And our unified sports will be competing tomorrow at North Haven High School in a basketball tournament.
And the middle school will be at Westbrook Middle School on Thursday.
Okay, I didn't get that.
It's all right. I'm
Thank you.
here for that.
Thank you very much. That's it for athletics at this time.
Okay. And I'm trying to think what was up since our last meeting. I don't think anything else new that I could think of from our last meeting. It was just last Tuesday, so not much. So I'm going to turn it over to the superintendent for the superintendent's report.
Yes, I am going to invite Maria Pompano and our 2 students here this evening. They're going to be presenting on a quads program that's been taking place at East Haven High School. Welcome and thank you for being here this evening.
I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for having me. I wanted to come in to do 2 things. One, to give you an update on the maritime program, which is still running this year, and then also to give you some new information about a program called Quads that we are partnered with Quinnipiac University and a part of that this year. And that's Allison and Ashley, and they're here to kind of share the mic a little bit with me a little bit later to talk to you about their experiences so far in that program. So our Sea Scouts Ship 100 is still underway. We've been meeting. This is the current list of students. We lost a few who were no longer interested and gained a few new ones, so we're excited. We did lose an advisor. Mr. Callahan left district to pursue another opportunity, but we still have Mr. Oshana, who's kind of taken this on by himself, which is kind of a big deal, so I'm very appreciative of him and his work and dedication to the program. Last year, we brought a couple of students to show you their submersible robots that they made, and this year their first event was to go to the University of Bridgeport and test them out. So they went, and I don't know if this is going to work because this is what we were trying to do before, but Dylan Robert, a senior hockey player, he attached a GoPro to his submersible and created a little video for us. I just wait a second, see if it works. Otherwise, I'll just send it. I can send the presentation to you. But they created at the University of Bridgeport, which is where we got the kits from to make the robots. They created like a little obstacle course for the kids, and they all worked. So it was a success, and they had a lot of fun. And they're actually sending us some, I don't think it's going to work. They're sending us a whole new set of kits so that the new students can also participate. So that's what they'll be doing in some of their after-school sessions coming up. Their second event was they really wanted to kind of get certified in something. They're like, we want to have something that we come out of this with. So Mr. Oshana worked with Athletic Director Verderam and the athletic trainer Mark Casito to get them CPR and first aid certified. So they spent 3 days after school with those guys going through all the training, and they're officially certified. And they all got their certifications through email. So Kayla shared hers with me. So they were super excited to actually have like a physical thing that they can say they've accomplished. And then upcoming events for the rest of the school year, we are going to return to the U.S. Coast Guard. We actually have a couple of students that were in the program last year who are very interested as a result of that trip in going into the Coast Guard. So Mr. Oshana has put them in contact with some representatives, so they're kind of working on that. So we want to take kids again because it was a wonderful experience and expose them to so many different jobs and opportunities that they just didn't know existed. So we're going to go back. And then we just found out we are still working with the Boy Scouts of America, and that representative is wonderful, and he's connected with the Port Jefferson Ferry. And so our students are going to go on a little boat trip where they'll get to go through some station activities on the ship, and they'll go to the engine room and the deck, and they're going to learn how to read a nautical chart and some of those types of things to give them kind of that experience too. And they do really want to get on a boat too, so which maritime, I don't blame them, so that's good. And then we're hopeful that in the spring we can get them Connecticut Safe Boating License certified. That's our end goal for this year. So far, so good. It's going very well.
Great.
Questions about maritime? Okay, so quads. We have a pretty good relationship with Quinnipiac University. We have residents, student kind of teachers that come here and work with us, and we participated a few years back when the new standards were coming in a program called SING, where we learned about the new standards. So we have a good relationship with the science department there. And when we found out that this was something that was happening, I reached out and they were excited to have us be a part of it. And so this is kind of the purpose of the Quads program. They are advancing diversity in science. And the program is to encourage high school students in Connecticut to develop science skills and knowledge through a place-based science education experience. And they're supported by our teachers. So we have 2 advisors to this program, as well as student mentors that come from Quinnipiac to work with our students. And they will also get to meet some Quinnipiac faculty. And they engage in activities designed to kind of make sense of their community, East Haven. And eventually their goal is to to find a problem that they feel exists and try to solve it. Who is in the program? They are all ninth graders. So it's a ninth grade program. Hopefully, they're going to last all 3 years. So they start in ninth grade, and they continue, and each year they build upon the idea of their problem that they identify. But these are the types of students that they're looking for. Students who are interested in belonging in their community, who want to get involved, who want to make a difference. And they'll also have some opportunities to enjoy some things like maybe going to a Division I basketball game. They've invited them actually on Saturday, but I don't think my girls are going, but maybe some of them are. So those are the types of students that they enlisted, and they had to apply. I don't know if this is going to work, but we could see. Once I send out the presentation, this link here is a link to the program in general on the Quinnipiac site. And then this, if it works, oh, maybe it will. Of course, I need my glasses because I can't see. Come on, buddy. So there are other schools partnering, similar schools to us. Hamden is one, Meriden is one, and the other might be Ansonia. It escapes me right now, but if my ad would stop. The ad is there. I'm trying not to listen to this stupid ad. And maybe not. Oh. I don't know. The videos don't seem to want to play. All right. Well, anyway. The program was featured in What's Right with Schools, so everybody knows what that is. So those are the other towns that are involved. There was a What's Right with Schools. I won't try to play that because it's obviously not working. These are the students who are in our program currently. And like I said, Ashley and Allison are here with us tonight. They've been meeting with their advisors. So Mr. Oshana, there he is again. He is one of their advisors, and Ms. Riccio. So both science teachers in our department here at the high school. That was just a little bit about themselves that they shared with the students when they were getting to know them. And so far they've had in-school field trips. So they've had meetings in school, kind of half day, where the Quinnipiac mentors will come and work with the students on different things. And that's kind of how we're running it. Next year, the thought is that we will build it more into their schedule, so they'll be meeting more regularly once they have their problem that they'd like to work on. So year one is where we are. Their goal is to build community, really, to get to know each other, to get to know East Haven, and really to try to think about that problem that they want to work on. So what have they done so far? They've created some self-symbols. The program really thinks it's important for them to know themselves, get to know each other, and then get to know their community in order to figure out kind of what they would possibly want to work on. And so they had to kind of work on a self-symbol. They had an activity. One of the other students who couldn't make it tonight wanted to share that, this was something where positive qualities that she could contribute to her community are responsibility, hope, and creativity. So kind of what are their assets? What are the things that they have to offer? Girls, did you want to talk about the symbol or not yet? No? Okay.
Hi, my name is Allison. The self symbols, this is my first year in quads, my first year experiencing things like this, and it was really helpful because we all had to think about ourselves with the symbols. So something we thought about ourselves, for example, I drew a flower because I love flowers, I love the summer, I love the spring. So I drew a flower as a way to kind of represent myself, and I found it very, a really exciting and fun project to try. Because it's my first year, it's my first time trying it, so it was really fun as a way to show what I feel about myself.
Then they kind of did a lot of work thinking about their self symbol, and then individually, what are some of the things that they have to bring to the table for the rest of the group? And they had to think head, hands, heart, and feet, and kind of brainstorm different things, the things I know something about, things I care deeply about, and then with their groups, they kind of organized each of these and talked about them with the advisor's help, so that eventually they can find similarities amongst their group and really see, like, you know, what are you good at? What are you good at? What are we going to be good at together? And they built kind of their community asset tree. Again, a couple of students who couldn't be here after that experience wanted to share. It was great to work with the mentors from Quinnipiac University, and I really liked the concept and that we each got to focus on different parts of the tree. So they seem to be enjoying. This one I thought was interesting. They had to think about their personal histories of East Haven, and there are some kids who just moved here. And so that to me was great because kids could share and they can learn a lot about our town from other students, so it was nice. Somebody want to share about this one?
It was really good to hear about everybody's experience because everybody has their own stories, everybody has their own experiences. So it was really nice to like get to know people more, people that I've never talked to, never met. It was good to know them more than I already heard from the beginning. It was really good to hear about their experiences, how they feel, and kind of like take my experience with their experience and see the difference between them.
Please let me know when you want to jump in. And then they had the opportunity to interview some family members. And so they were supposed to find somebody a little older, and then a lot older. And I think it depended upon who was in their family and who they had access to. But they interviewed some people and talked to them, talking about the identity of their family and their knowledge about the community, just to continue to build that foundation. And there's just some pictures of them working. Some of the QU staff is in there. And so next steps, they are going to use all this information that they've gathered to choose a community problem to focus on, and they'll be working on that for the rest of the year. Looking ahead, again, looking forward to solving problems in our community, excited for all the memories we will make, and then looking forward to being more engaged in our community and helping out. I'm also looking forward to meeting new people. So, it's a group of ninth graders that didn't know each other probably before, and now they do, and that's a community in and of itself. So we're excited. Girls, do you have anything else you would like to add? Good? Okay, thank you so much.
I have
Any
a question.
questions? Yeah.
Is the project they choose collective for the group, or do they choose their own?
The quads teachers, they all get one like individual project, and we all have to do it together, so we can end up like after, I'm pretty sure they gave us like 15 minutes where we come back together and explain what we felt, or like how we felt during the experience that we had to do. So it's like one project for all of us.
Okay.
You stole my question, Misha.
Is the project based in science, or can it be a project as long as the project has to do with East Haven?
The projects isn't about anything specifically. It's mostly just about ourselves, our community, about sharing with others, coming together. It's mostly just, it's not anything like specifically to school. It's about showing like the way we can work with others, the way we talk with others, and just most importantly, it's just to get us all to talk and engage with each other.
That's great.
Have you guys got to visit Quinnipiac at all yet, or has it all been here?
No, we haven't. We just do meetings in Miss I forgot her name. Miss Ricchio's classroom. We do it all right there. That's how we've been doing it since the beginning.
Something that I forgot to mention, which is probably really important. If they continue and they go through the 3 years and participate, they'll get QU credit. And then we're also going to give them East Haven High School credit. And this has the beautiful potential to be a capstone project, which checks off another graduation box. So really the program is geared toward helping students get to the finish line and having something great to talk about when they get there. And so we're excited.
Great job.
Thank you.
Really good. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, students, for coming. We appreciate your time. And we'll be looking forward to hearing from you once you select your community project to see how it's going and the impact that it's making. Well done. Thank
Yes,
you for
thank
being
you.
here tonight. Thank you, Maria.
Okay. So at this point, I will ask if anyone has any revisions on the meeting minutes for February 11th, 2025? Nope. Okay. All right, then I move that we will accept the minutes as written. That brings us to 5, our audience of citizens portion of this evening. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak? No? Okay.
Michelle, could we just go back to the minutes? I didn't get to hear, was it for February 11th and February 18th?
No.
There's 2 sets of minutes on the
Oh,
agenda.
that's right, she sent the revision. I'm opening up the old email for February 11th and February 18th.
Thank you.
I was looking at the older agenda.
I couldn't hear, no worries.
Did anyone have any revisions for February 18th? Or objections to anything in the minutes? No? All right. So then we will accept the meeting minutes for February 11th and February 18th. We already went by audience of citizens. We know that there's no one here. Let's move on to new business. Discussion and possible action on the revision of policy 1330, use of school facilities use.
I'll make a motion to approve the revision of policy 1330, use of school facilities use.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right. Roll call vote.
Ms. DeLongo?
Yes.
Mr. Hennessy?
Yes.
Ms. Santiago?
Yes.
Mr. Stacy?
Yes.
Ms. Torello?
Yes.
Dr. DeLucia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. This brings us to discussion and possible action on the approval of the East Haven High School out-of-state field trip to Juliet at the Stephen,
Sondheim.
And Juliet.
and Juliet at the Stephen and Sondheim Theater on Broadway in New York on April 23rd. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the East Haven High School's out-of-state field trip request to Anne Juliet at the Stephen Sondheim Theater on Broadway in New York on 4/23/25.
I'll second.
Questions or comments?
I have a question. So I noticed that the total price per person, per student is $170. And I noticed that the tickets were $109, so let's make it $110. So we're charging these $60 each for the bus? Because food is separate. Is that right? Charge them $60 for the bus?
For a coach bus, yeah.
Well, the bus is $3,675.
Is there any way we can somehow help out in that? I mean, I just think $170 is quite, huh?
That's with us.
We did get on the portion already.
Oh,
The
okay.
bus prices went up significantly this year, I guess after April 1st, once it's considered time season, the price for a coach bus went up over $1,000 to go to
Okay.
New York.
Well, I know they have to pay that going into Manhattan fee, right? That's $100. I saw that.
And it takes about 12 hours, like it's a 12-hour trip by the time they go up. They have lunch usually or go to Bryant Park first and eat at one of the outdoor areas and then the show and the return trip, so.
And
Buses
silly
have
question.
gotten-
Chaperones pay too?
I don't know the answer to that.
Anybody know?
I
Do
don't know
chaperones
off the
pay
top of my
buy their, they at least pay for their ticket or no?
Going through, I don't know, the state
because there's 5 of
5
those.
chaperones. It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. But we can find out.
Yeah, if you would, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Are these discounted tickets? Like
Say group.
they don't give us a group rate or anything, or?
It says group price.
Oh, well, it
Says
does
group
say,
rate.
Yeah,
I
on
missed
this,
that then.
this one here, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like the Hamilton, that's all funded through the Gilder Learning Institute, where
Okay.
they subsidize the entire cost except for $10 for those tickets. This is just like if you were taking your child to a Broadway show.
Okay.
Do you think you'll get enough kids to go? I mean, do we think we'll get enough kids to go to this, just because it's so expensive?
We did last year.
Okay.
I think especially if they're like really into the theater. I mean, it's no more than a sporting event. If you think about it.
I don't know how appropriate it is. If you have a student who wants to go and they can't afford it, I would be willing to sponsor a student.
I don't think you can,
Okay. I don't know, that's why
technically.
I'll adopt them.
Could do an anonymous donation.
I'll adopt them first, then I'll,
How's that?
all right,
Anonymous.
okay. Well, let me know.
Okay.
All right. So, go?
Sure. Ms. DeLongo?
Yes.
Mr. Hennessy?
Yes.
Ms. Santiago?
Yes.
Mr. Stacy?
Yes.
Ms. Terrell?
Yes.
Dr. DeLucia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, that brings us to the conclusion of our meeting this evening. We will next meet on March 11th, I believe.
Yep.
March 11th. So if there's any future agenda items, to please let us know as soon as possible so we can make sure that we have all materials and answers to any questions that you may have. That's all I got. Get excited, people. It's budget season. Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. Meeting adjourned.